Ah, right. That's exactly what we needed. It was connected at just the right level that we needed. I can feel things balancing down there, and it's good. There's a slow surrender by me. Oh, this is good, and it's being accepted now fully by your divine feminine. Because I've been hearing her a bit, recognizing love. And I get the clairaudience come through with the love or love, and it's not really impressive. Varying different tones. Yeah, it feels good. I think we're hitting a balance there now with everything. All of the energies that I did a chakra flip with, it's a month later, and it's finally starting to settle as things should be. I did feel last night there was realignment of the root occurring just naturally, just laying in bed and sort of settling down. There were some little moments that were kind of like little mini kind of jolts, but there was still love, unity frequencies to come back up through, you see. So it's forcing our roots to misalign while it continues to sort everything out. So anyway, that's now sorted, or mostly sorted now, and it appears to be, the differentials seem to have subsided now. The other thing of note is that because of what I did, knowing that what we had to face and knowing that I had to go about things in this particular way for us, due to the circumstance of situation and regarding what we're dealing with and your choices of action and lacking, it meant that basically I rocket engineered through the metaphysical side, through the second stage of the metaphysics, which is dealing with the shadow aspects and all of the rest, outer consciousness ideologies of despondency and all of the the energetics that unravel that are part of the same dissolvent process. So I've done the right thing, I think, and in doing so, it's also meant that the process has been like formidable, but not in a dangerous way, thankfully. I was very concerned for a while, especially initially, that first week or so, couple of weeks after the whole chakra flip thing and everything. That was really quite disconcerting. When you've got root energies that are really dense, heavy, thick, like almost like a concrete. If you think of Marvel, and the Thing from Fantastic Four, that's what it kind of feels like. It's like a rocky and splitting, and it's very surreal. So that was going on in and around my pineal and each side of the pineal, and also there was a opening at the top which was kept clear with the higher frequencies. But what was happening is the recognition, which is, it's hard to describe, but there's like a little electromagnetic place of recognition of conscious EQ to chakra recognition, and it was pinging around a bit, and it was going from one side of me up top, down right the way down to the bottom to my toes, and it was flipping the energies around. So all the high frequencies, right, all the high frequencies just have basically gone down and cleared out the fucking lot in one sweep. That's what's occurred, while the heavier energies were going up, and then it was getting dissolved from above, and that's why I was getting all these head accumulations of spirals that were like as big as cars when I opened them out. So now I'm feeling the higher frequency energies that ended up flipping and going down and dealing with all of that and coming back up. They're now residing, coming through into a more balanced residing, and all of the horribleness that was going on in the cranium that was quite it was quite disconcerting. That's all now sort of been cleared, and it was going from there to under the armpits is another accumulation place, but that's where love accumulates. That's where the cool energies accumulate, and if you put your hand under your armpit, or metaphysically, you can feel it all. You put your hand under the armpit, and it will slowly sort of release, and you just connect to love, to know thyself love. And that's when I hear her. That's when I hear our oversoul angel recognizing, and also in other places as well. But it's that same frequency of accumulation in band. And what sometimes happens as well is when there's other energies that come up, meet those same energies and slowly balance with them. It's a very odd feeling. It almost feels like, well, it has an almost wet feeling, but it's like it's dripping in some way as it's establishing itself, and then it sort of disappears, and it becomes part of you, and you don't really notice it anymore because it's then balanced with your own EQ recognition, your own frequency of already know thyself establishment, and it's a very, very surreal feeling. It almost feels like you're kind of like there's a little drop of cool blood, or like holy water, I suppose, is, like the divine feminine coolness, and it kind of runs along the line where the two energies blocks or whatever, or bubbles, or areas of which have many shapes and sizes. They meet, and when the meeting occurs, that it's like there's like a dripping feeling between the two as it merges, and it's very surreal. And I still don't know what to quite make of it. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever, but I'm just going to go with it, and recognise the fact that it kind of dissipates into you, and the energy is kind of like you don't notice them anymore. It's just like, oh, well, that's dealt with then, that's gone, so it's been quite something. Today's been good, the last little while's been good, and like I said, I'm noticing now, finally, a month later, that the whole chakra recognition flip thing that was like me metaphysically like owning everything, because I realised that was probably the best way of going about things. It's finally now coming to a more balanced residing of placement, which will mean that there'll be less chaos involved, because we've basically dealt with most of it in a single swoop. So now it's just the kind of calm after the storm effect, in effect, of which we will be expecting now over the forthcoming few months, I suppose, maybe even before then. It will sort of mostly, hopefully, be dealt with. Of course, the only relative unknown is your placement, Amelia, really, and what, I don't have a fucking clue. I can hear you clairaudiently sometimes, at least a dozen times a day. I'll pick up stuff these days, but you need to realise that you're being a twat to your own soul. Basically, you really need to realise it, and no, not hate yourself, and no, not feel unworthy, because they're the wrong lesson. You just need to realise the depth of what you're doing within you, and it's your ego that's getting in the way and blinding you from everything. Otherwise we'd be already in the same room having this conversation right now in person. So Anyway, that's something that's obviously due to change in the future. The sooner the better, because it's only going to help everything more, and it's finally going to enable the next phase of the journey, which is the reunification of us, and then, well, then we're set for the exploration of what this is about, because all of what we've gone through so far until the reuniting of the twin flame encounter is all preparation. Of course, it's enabling the grounds from which we may go forth with relative ease, or as ready as we can be. So that's what's due to come, and that's what I'm also very much looking forward to, as are you, I know. And I know that you are like crazy about me and can't stop, like can't take your eyes off of me. That's fine. It's part of the process. That's normal. And you need to realise that that's normal. You're supposed to do that. And you just need to see how easy it is, because it is. It's, it's your mind that's stopping you because it's a chaos engine, and that's what's being dissolved. So it's going all over the fucking place, trying to deal with emotions, because you're not feeling it metaphysically, but you're feeling it emotionally. And you're going to outside sources, and you're going to trauma cycles, and you're going to other people like karmics, and you're believing in their delusions for a while because it's easier than facing yourself as a mirror of truth. And then things change because the energies change, and then you suddenly realise, oh, I was wrong. Oh, it's Michael all along. It was Michael. What was I thinking? And then you go back to how things should be. That's all part of the process. So you need to just accept that that's normal now. If you can do that, then that will help, because that means we can go through that then as well. And this is the thing, the bigger leaps of faith that you can make, the greater the gains, basically. So the more you're a pussy about it, the less you're going to attain from the this whole situation of what is, which is quite incredible, to say the least. And it's going to be very interesting to see what stage 3 entails, because I know what we're like, and once we get the ball rolling, we'll be wanting to experience everything, essentially, in due time, of comfort and care and consideration. But that's what we're like, and that's what we'll both want, and that's what will happen, I assume. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing, and we're not quitters, and we've been through enough shit to have earned our right to be unhindered by this by anybody else, and so it shall not be. So that will be when we obviously explore our mirrors together. That's when the true embracement of know thy unity, know thyself as unity, comes into play. And then, of course, we'll have all of the 7 wonders of the world, or as many as we can visit to grant this furthering of attainment. And that will, of course, mean in the future visiting historical sites, ancient ruins, ancient mythological sites, and that's what I foresee ahead of us, and that will be part of our growth process, and that will also enable us to be in a strong position for the future and for humanity, and what our bigger picture is as twin flames, what we're actually supposed to do. and that will obviously incorporate same you as part of the process, because it's also consciousness related, and I foresee same you very much being at the forefront of that spiritual, psychological, transpersonal, scientific as well, metaphysical acceptance and change, of which is already due within society anyway. So that's what we've got ahead of us. That's our greatest truth of destiny unfolding. So why are we going to let our egos get in the way of it? I don't know. Right. Speak to you again.